Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mayur and in this series we will solve SQL 50 questions from LeetCode. Today we are on our 38th question. So let's dive in. The question name is exchange seats. We'll see some important concepts of SQL in this question. So let's check. In this I have only one table and two columns in it, ID and student. And ID is the primary key. So write a solution to swap the seat IDs of every two consecutive students. If the number of students is odd, the ID of the last student is not swapped. Okay. And I have to order it by the ascending order in with ID. So let's try to understand this by an example. So if this is the given table, so what we need to do is, let's say ID 1 abort. So I need to swap it with the next row, which is Doris. So Doris will get exchanged with ID 1. Similarly, with ID 3 Emerson will get changed swapped to ID 4, and green, which was 4, will get swapped to ID 3. So if it is even, we need to minus it. If it is odd, we need to plus it, right? And the last remains as it is. So let's try to write a query for this. We'll write select. We'll understand the concept of how to write cases in SQL. So select case. We open the case over here. We'll write the conditions over here. When ID is equal to select max of ID from seat, and because the column table name is seat, and mod of ID comma 2 is equal to 1, then we return ID. So what I've done over here is, when the ID is maximum, okay, select max of ID, and another condition is, what does mod do? Mod returns the remainder when we divide it. Okay, so let's, for example, if I have ID 5 over here, max, right? So 5 by 2, which will give me remainder 1. If it is 1, then we return ID, right? If it is even, so let's say like this, when the remainder is 0, that is when I'm dividing it by 4. So here I am dividing it by I want the remainder to be 1 because I want to see that it is an odd numbered rows. Then I'll return ID. Or case when mod of ID comma 2 is equal to 1, I'll do ID plus 1, else ID minus 1. So you see, when it was odd, I had to do plus, right? Because when ID when we had an odd ID, let's say for example ID 3, I had to swap it with ID 4, right? So I will add 1 to it. So when the remainder is 1, which means when our ID is odd, I will add 1 to it, ID plus 1, else I will do a subtraction to it. Okay, I will end the case as ID comma student. I want this to be returned from seat, and I need to order by ID as well because that was given. Okay, I have some error. Okay, I don't write case over here. One case is enough. You have another error. You have another syntax. When mod ID is equal to I did not write 10. Sorry, I forgot to write 10 over here. Accepted. Let's try to submit the query, whether it is working or not. That's accepted. So our query is working. I'll try to explain it once again. So what I'm doing over here is, I'm opening cases. right? I have two conditions over here, that the last row remains as it is. To satisfy this condition, I have written this case, that when the ID is max and it is odd, then return ID as it is, right? And for the remaining rows, when ID is odd, add 1 to it, else subtract 1 from it. So when the ID is odd, let's say 3, add 1 to it, which will be changed to 4. And if the ID is even, subtract from it, which is, it will change to 3. Like uh, 4 green with ID 4 will be swapped to 3 green, and 3 immersion will get swapped to 4 immersion, right? So, and this I've taken from the table name sheet, and as given that I have to order it in the ascending order by ID. So I've ordered it. If I write ASC over here, I think even that won't do any harm, but since it's working like this, we don't need to write it. Let's see. So this is one approach of solving this question. I have another approach which is a smaller one, by using Windows functions. What Windows functions is, it's nothing but an advanced concept in SQL. So I'll use the concept of row number, which for which I'm numbering the rows. Okay, select row number NUMBR. This is the syntax for writing the Windows functions. Row number, and I'll return ID, comma student, student. Okay, yeah, ID comma student from seat. Now here I will write the conditions which I want. Order by, I'll write the conditions in order by. Order by if mod of ID comma 2 is equal to 0, then ID minus 1 or ID plus 1. Let's see if this works. It is working. Instead to submit it, that is working as well. So basically I'm just using the row number concept over here, and I'm doing the order by. If the mod is even, we'll subtract, as we did in the earlier solution as well. And if this condition is false, we'll do addition. That's it. So for this also our query is running. So what this is, I'll say this is not the foolproof answer, because it might not get correct always. I feel so. So we'll stick with this solution. So yeah guys, this was the 38th question, and the key takeaways from this question was of how to write cases. How we have written this case, when, and then. Here I forgot to write then, so I got an error over here. So it is important to follow the syntax. Okay, when we have two conditions, the max and e odd, then ID. Another when, this condition, and end, and I want an output ID and student. So yeah, this was the 38th question. If you have any doubts or questions, to ask in comments. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Have a nice day.